Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where we're working together through each of the ABRSM Theory grades. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets and you can download those in US letter or A4 to accompany each step of this series to help you. You'll find a page there with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can also find out about the books that I have available. I've written an exam technique guide, how to take your ABRSM Theory Exam. It's full of tips and hints on how to best prepare for your exam and also how to make the best use of your time come exam day. So if you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find it all there. If you can give me a like, that would be really fab, and please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated, and please do share out the videos. And now we're going to continue with paper C of the 2018 grade 4 practice paper. So if you turn with me to page 18, we're going to work on question 4. And as I always suggest, have a go of this on your own. First of all, it's better to learn by your mistakes. Always work in pencil and then you can just rub out and have another go. So we'll check through these together now. So everything is referring to this little extract here. And first of all, we've got some general performance directions to look at. We're asked to underline one word from this list here, which has a similar meaning to adagio. So let's just squeeze every drop of revision out of this and look at all of these words. So adagio, we first came across this in grade 1, and that means slow. So let's give all of these their full definition. So anime, we can see from the root word here, animate, it's like animated or lively. Or we also have a similar word, animato, which is also the same. Now just be careful, because here anima is sort of with soul or spirited, slightly different there, so that's one to watch out for. Okay, so vite is quick, so we're still not there yet. Remember, adagio means slow. Cedes is yield or sort of relax the speed, so it's almost there but not quite. It's more sort of getting slower. And lent, if you think, very similar to the word lento that we first came across in grade 1, or lentiment, if that's how you pronounce it, is slow. All of those are slow, and so that's the one that we're after. Okie dokie, let's crack on. So we're going to look at the two ornaments marked A and B and give them their proper names. So let's have a look at A in bar 5. So that's a turn. And then bar 7. Oh, actually, I'm sorry, I've just realised that I'm going to be doing the same one twice. Yes, that is a turn there, but A isn't referring to that. A is referring to this one here, do beg your pardon. So that there is an appoggiatura. That's the one where we divide the timing equally between those two notes, unlike the acciaccatura, which is the crush note. So this is the appoggiatura, or we could call it a leaning note. And then in B here, that is the turn that it's referring to. There we go, that makes sense. So now we're asked to write as a breve or a double whole note an enharmonic equivalent of the last note of the melody. Now bear in mind we're in the treble clef and we're looking at note F here. Now I find it helpful to refer to a piano keyboard. So F could be referred to as E sharp, or we could also refer to it as G double flat, but we've just got to make sure we get the correct placement, we don't end up an octave out. So this was the F that was given, and so the E sharp would be here, There's a breve or a double whole note, E sharp, so that's one appropriate answer. Alternatively, you could go higher and have the G double flat. Either one of those will do. Now, is it true or false that each complete bar has a different rhythm? So let's have a look. Just visually you can tell. So here we have crotchet, run of quavers. Admittedly there are there's an ornament, but that's exactly the same rhythm as this one here, crotchet, quavers. And again we have crotchet, quavers even with the ornament, so that is exactly the same with the ornament, even if you didn't count the ornament. So it's false. Every bar does not have a completely different rhythm. We can see a similarity straight away. There we go. Now turn over the page, but just keep this to hand because we need to still refer back to this little extract here. So we're asked to give the technical names of the two notes marked X and Y. Remember that the key is F major. So before we go looking, I'm just going to sketch out what I need to be working on. So let's just sketch out the steps of the scale. I know of course F major has B flat, but your key signature will deal with that. There's no need to worry there. So then, bar 2, X is note E, and we can see that E is the 7th degree of the scale, so I'm just going to put 7th there. It's quite hard to count up from a low F down here, so this is why just stepping out those degrees of the scale helps. And then let's look at Y in bar 6, that's a D. And so D is the 6th. It's a bit easier to count from here. F, G, A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But you can see we double check that there. So that's the 6th. So now we've got to give them the technical names. So the 7th degree of the scale is the leading note. Ah, dear, getting carried away with the pencil there. And then the 6th degree of the scale is the submediant. There we go. Okie dokie. Now then, we need to rewrite bars 5 to 6. We don't need to worry about writing the ornaments, but we need to make sure it's an octave lower and we're changing from treble to bass now. So let's look what we've got here. So bars 5 to 6. We're going to be writing those out, but we've got to go an octave lower. Now it's still helpful to keep middle C as a reference point. So in the treble clef, middle C is at the bottom of the stave, and in the bass clef, middle C is at the top of the stave. So here we're on the A above middle C, and so to drop it down an octave we need to go down to the A below middle C. And so that takes us to this one here. And so that's got us started. So now we're just going up a step. I'm not worrying about the stems yet. Let's just get the blobs in the right place. Down a step, down a step, down a step. Now here we're going to jump up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 takes us to the D above middle C. And if we drop down an octave, we can see that's correct. Up a step, so we need another ledger line. Now we're going to go up a third, so we're going to need another ledger line. Down a step, down a step, and we should be back where we were there. We are. Back up a step, and that's the end of that section. So now we need to worry about the stems. So this is a crotchet. Stems are all coming down because we're all above that middle line. These are going to be beamed together, so by all means get a ruler. Oh, not quite far enough there. And then crotchet or quarter note, same again. And then these are going to be beamed together. And that needs 2 beams because they're semiquavers or 16th notes. And that's that job done. So let's press on to the next question, still retaining this sheet for reference. So we need to give the bar number where there are 5 notes next to each other that form the chromatic scale. So we're going to be looking for some accidentals to show that we're going to be working in semitones. So let's see where we can see. Well, bar 4 looks like a good option. So we need to look here. So E to F. Let's just bring that down a bit so you can see. Better this way, I think. So bar 4, E to F sharp to G sharp. So actually any one of those will do. So bar 4 answers that nicely. We've got 5 notes there showing the chromatic scale. So that's soon spotted. So now we have some general orchestral questions. So we need to name 2 standard orchestral instruments. We need to show 1 woodwind and 1 brass that could play this melody so that it sounds at the same pitch. So we need to choose treble clef instruments that are comfortable playing in that higher register. It's in the treble clef, although it's quite low down in the treble clef range. We've not got too many ledge lines, but we need to make sure it's a treble instrument. So really, in terms of woodwind, the obvious ones are the flute, the oboe and the clarinet. Either one of those will do. And for brass, trumpet is the option there for the treble instrument. Now we need to show the lowest sounding member of the standard orchestral string family, and that's the double bass. And then finally we're asked to underline 2 instruments which might be asked to play Sol G. That means on the G string, so we're looking for stringed instruments. Well, trombone is brass, bass drum is percussion, and so cello is a string instrument, and so is violin, so they could be asked to play on the G string. There we go. That's the end of that question. I hope that's helpful to you. We'll look at the next question in the next video. If you can give me a like, that would be super, and please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated, and please do share out the videos. Please also do visit sharonbill.com and make use of all of the resource and information that's available there to help you. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.